Let's do a little rant about flag. My daughter's playing flag football, so I guess I can go on a little rant about that. And I could talk about Pop Warner. I don't know what Pop Warner has turned into. I'm very familiar with Snoop Dogg League in Cali and Long Beach in particular. So I know what, I'm not saying that program is ran well, but when you put decent money behind something, I've seen a well run program or organization, league, team. Sometimes it's just the team in the organization. It's not necessarily the whole organization. But that's what today's rant is about. I'm putting this on my sports channel. So if you have not followed my other channels, I have a family channel. I just talk about family stuff and illnesses that my children are healing from, educational purposes, of course. But all that money goes towards the babies. And then I got a regular channel for my brand and one for my sports. And then one for all the BS that I just plan on talking about. But today we're talking about Pop Warner football. Don't know how much it is in your state. I don't even have kids old enough to play Pop Warner football yet. But I'm taking nephews. So I'm learning a little bit early. You know, I'm actually a basketball coach. So my thoughts on a lot of stuff will be different. But I do coach, just a different sport. So when I see certain things, it makes me think. Makes me think hard on the individuals we have coaching our kids to the mentors that we surround them with, whether it be good or bad. You may not know at the time, but yeah. So that's why I said it's a couple things that I want to talk about. Let's see though, how did the day go? I was excited to go. First game, it was kind of raining, pouring down raining. So then by the time we got there, I had to turn around. So I wasn't too excited about that, but I guess that's what you get when it comes to the Midwest and the East Coast when it comes to the sports. If I'm not mistaken, they tend to start a little sooner, start a little earlier, try to avoid the rain, try to avoid the snow. I know that for sure. I guess that's the good thing there. They actually think about the kids and the weather. Thank goodness for that. We're still technically in summer, but we're still getting a heavy ton of rain. It was actually nice and sunny today. I haven't been feeling the best, so I was out. Sun hitting my skin. So I'm looking for my nephew. You know, I'm trying to figure out exactly where he is. He don't have no number. He don't have no number yet. So I just think that's just because he don't have his jersey yet. I don't know if it's just because he didn't have his jersey yet, but I'll say as Big Unc, I wouldn't. And Grandpa was there. Let me add this: I wasn't the only one making these observations. There was an older man, older than me, making these observations. That just let me know that I was thinking the right way. Low key, he started spazzing on a couple things that made me laugh. So that's what we're gonna talk about. We couldn't identify who was who. Both teams wore black. Both teams had black similar jerseys. If not all the players had their jerseys, some of them did, but they were still black, so you couldn't really tell who was who. Both teams had black helmets on. Some teams had white helmets on. Some of the players had white helmets on the all black team. It was just extremely confusing. You couldn't tell who was who. Now, granted, I don't know what week we're in. That's why I said I don't wanna throw salt or throw shade at coach for not having his team prepared. You know what I mean? They could have just ordered the jerseys. They could have just got all that stuff together. I don't know. I don't have all the details, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I do. So I'm not gonna criticize because I don't have all the details. But if I did, I'll criticize. Just being honest. If I did, I'll criticize. They played well, but like I said, the problem was I couldn't tell who was on offense and who was on defense. So they stole the ball a couple times and fumbles and ripped the ball out the other team's hands and went back for a touchdown with less than 15 yards to go. You know what I mean? Like the other team couldn't even get the ball past half field, past the 50-yard line. I think they did maybe once, but it turned into a skunk real fast. But like I said, I couldn't tell who was skunking who. Like, and then I got a couple of videos that I can definitely insert in there so y'all can see what I'm talking about, show and tell. But I couldn't even get enough video because I was confused. And then the game went by like they skunked them like either right before halftime or right at halftime. Like, so then About time the third quarter shows up, or about time like we see second half up on the billboard thing, and it's 28, it's 26, it's 26-0, 28-0. I'm like, did they score again? Like, how many 2-point conversions did they do? Like, I'm all confused, all the way. That was just one part of it. Like, me sitting there trying to identify with the game, but then it's like it was a bunch of like kids. They was saying like it's not that big of a deal, but it was a bunch of kids running past, and they was getting hurt, knocking each other over, scraping knees. Like, I look over, and these these young men, it was probably like 3, 4, 5 of them. Their mothers are sitting right to the right of me, and I'm trying not to pay attention, but they running right past me. Even Grandpa said it. There was a lot of single mothers at that game, and I did not see many men. Now, granted, unless if the men were the coaches, that tends to happen a lot. But I felt uncomfortable. I felt very uncomfortable. It was like a woman walking past a bunch of niggas in front of an apartment complex or something like that. Like, that's what it felt like. It was a bunch. Like, I didn't see no men there. Like, very little. And the men that were there, like, they was leaning up against the fence. So it wasn't that many of them. So that was that, man. So me and Grandpa sitting there like, where are all the dads at? Who's supporting these kids? It's dead silent. That's why I said it's kind of awkward, because, like, you usually hear dads. You hear talking. You hear yelling. All of it was coming from the football field. It didn't even seem like it was a football game going on until somebody scored. That let me know that even from my game, even from me coaching for the last like 10, 15 years, I'm not saying it's dad's fault that he's usually stuck at work on the weekend, that he's usually doing something on the weekend. I know a lot of dads at work that bust their butt, but I also seen a lot of dads just not show up for their fucking kid, yo. That's why I said it could be so hurtful, and I don't even, like, you know what I mean? Like, do you leave it alone? Do you press the issue? Because, like, I was my brother's, like, rider. Like, I took him to everything. And same thing that goes for like my baby sister when I'm there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even look at their dad to do nothing. Like, I know you're a piece of shit, my nigga. I don't even look at you to do nothing. I'll do it. I know you're gonna let them down. I'll do it. Think about that. That's why I said, like, and that's me being a big brother. It's a lot of that I can't handle. So it's like, you got a kid that's actually trying, that's actually wanting to go to practice, that's actually wanting to work out, that's actually wanting to get better. Like, how does a child process that when you don't want to be around them, when you don't want to help them get better, when the mentors that they looking for, they find love that they need, not from their dad, like, because my nigga, you just don't want to give it to them. That's why I said some of these young boys, like, they going towards women to find that comfort, because sometimes their mama can't even give it to them. She too busy too. This is supposed to be a sports video, but yeah. So that kind of irritated me. Yeah, I might. Okay. So that's why I'm like, it makes it very difficult, because it's like, just like my brother, he needed me. I didn't think about it. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, like, what am, no, I just did it. That's what I'm saying. Not even the knock. That's what I'm saying. I don't knock what I did for none of my siblings, because I realized what I was. So I appreciate the time and the effort that I put in to my kids and to my siblings. It definitely made them better people. Definitely made my brother a better person. You should see him now. Nigga buffer than me. Got the same kind of hairstyle I do. Buffer than me. Yeah. Little light skinned fucker. My sister, freshman on varsity. That was my little rider. I took her with me everywhere until I couldn't. Freshman on varsity now in Long Beach, Cali. Wilson, gotta love it. You know what I mean? Gotta make it back down there to give my sister her praise, and to work with her a little bit after I get done with some of this personal training certs that I'm getting done. But God is good. That's why I said, like, the kids need it. You don't realize how much your son, how much your daughter really needs you out there just cheering them on. And I know sometimes it's hard to even create the time Like, I know this world is really not, but we all got the same 20. We all got the same 20. I'm not saying I'm the best at it. That's why I say I think I have too much on my plate sometimes, and it really be killing me. I'm dealing with twins every single day. So, yeah. On top of that, one is disabled. So, I just literally keep my chin up and move through the day. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, my day can start off bad at 4 or 5 in the morning if I let it. Let's be honest. Because my son is already up. Already fussing. Already done pooped, probably. Whining because he's trying to crawl and he can't. Or he's trying to move in one direction and he can't. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. Just I actually like football, and I was watching a video of a guy that I got pulled up right here. I think his video might be like the sound might be copywritten, so I don't want to get in trouble. But the guy was pretty much talking about how much Pop Warner football costs, and these kids they not really learning nothing. And it's like, unless you got a father, unless you got somebody in your life that's teaching you, that's giving you that extra little time to, learn a position and learn a stance and learn the little nuances of how to get around people and how to get open and stuff like that. Like, if you don't have a big homie, if you don't have a dad that's teaching you that, like, you already kind of behind. And that's what they was trying to say. So when me and Pops was sitting there chopping it up about that, I completely understood what he was talking about. Like, why ain't y'all out here with y'all kids? Like, and legit, the games usually only be 40 minutes. Like, they don't even be a full hour. So it's just like, to see all these articles about millennials showing up for their kids, like, I know it's true, but I just want to, like, where? Like, I don't say I know a lot of the homies that got their kids, that go get their kids, that's with their teens, that's with their babies, that got their kids with them everywhere that they go. Oddly enough, it's just odd, like, having babies or children that you know in the real world. I guess I know a bad dad because I had to live through it. Like, so I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen it firsthand. That's how I know what not to do. I've honestly never seen such immature, grown-ass men when it comes to their children. Like, I've seen a bunch of grown, immature females that are still grown and immature. But for the life of me, I've always advocated for men. Like, I thought they was gonna get it together, like they was gonna, like, shake it off and get out of it. But there is some individuals that won't let you live. They don't care for the kids. They don't want you to live. They don't want you to do good. They don't want to help you pay your bills. They don't want to do nothing. They want to have sex with you. That's it. That's what I said. This was supposed to be a sports video, and that shit got me bent. I didn't like. When I used to hear about niggas being like that, I'm like, nah, they grew out of that. That's being young. No, it's some niggas that's still 40 plus. All they want is pussy. They don't want to take care of their kids, but they had them with you. They don't want to help you pay the bills, but they living in the house with you. But they eating up all the food. But they using up all the electricity. Niggas not taking out the trash. Niggas not mowing the lawn. They not even straightening the lawn out. They not fixing the house. They know how to mop and do dishes, maybe. You a barber, but you don't cut your own kids' hair. Like, that's why I say I don't get some of these niggas. It don't be making no sense to me. And then they be acting like they player, like they could just get pussy, but then yet they tripping off the pussy that they had kids with that ain't going nowhere. Usually, God, please help these niggas. Lord have mercy. Please. Your children need you. Your children need you. There goes one of mine. And that's what I'm saying. Not even to talk smack. That's what I said. There's a lot of brothers that are just playing. Let me. How do I want to say this? They're just playing the role. They want to be with their kids. They don't know how to be without their kids. They are playing a role. Crazy thing is, there's some brothers that don't want to do their kids wrong so bad that they don't even, like, any little thing that can even hurt mom, they don't even look that direction either. Like, they be staying neutral to all the bullshit. But let's get back on the football. I want to know what a good team actually looks like. I want to know what a good organization's practice is actually looking like. What they do with their kids weekly. Do they work with their kids every single week? Is it twice a week, 3 times a week? Do they send their kids, are they giving their kids homework? Are they doing academic checks? Are we doing report card checks? We doing evaluations with the teacher checks? Because another topic that me and the old man was getting into while we were sitting there watching the game, because the coaches was talking to the kids kind of crazy. I'm saying he was kind of cussing his kids out, but then it's like that's why it was another video. Maybe I can find that one. Dude was like, so y'all got these coaches yelling at the kids, but when the teachers do it, everybody up in the office. But y'all got these grown men that probably don't even take care of their own kids. That's why I said like I really wanted to get into this because sometimes like I feel like we misrepresent ourselves. That's what I'm saying. Like when my daughter is telling me how the coach look, and then I'm seeing how the team looks, and she telling me, oh, like he big and scary, he got a grill in, he got all this jewelry on, and that's why I said it's like some niggas really be flashy for no reason, and it's like if you gonna pop out looking fresh, can you make sure the rest of your squad is looking the same, looking close to the same? You know what I mean? Like that's why I said like I don't know. It's just odd. Like me personally, I don't like seeing a lot of jewelry and flashiness, but yet it's other parts. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not judging, but that's why I said like I've seen individuals really look at the visual aspects of life and really be like, yeah, I need all of that. I need all that fresh shit. But yet they don't have a pot to piss in. Yet that's what I said. But in this particular situation, like I don't like hearing about coaches being dapper and fresh and all of that, but then they kids don't even have jerseys on. That's why I said me and the old man was sitting there talking about it. It was like, wow, all these other teams got the jerseys, the bags, the cleats, the everything, the socks, everything matching on point. And then here come my nephew team. Everybody got random shit on. And that's what I said. I've ran a program before, so I'm not gonna sit here like I've been a organization. I've been at the top where I had to organize everything. I've been the person that had to get all the sizes, get all the okay, what size are you for your shirt, for your pants, for your socks, for this? Okay, what number you want on your bag? And that's what I was trying to tell my daughter. Like, there's a lot of programs. They have women that's doing that. They have women that's setting up a lot of that infrastructure, that organization within the organization. And then there's some teams that just don't have it. They don't know where to get the best jerseys. They don't know where to get the cheapest jerseys. You know what I mean? That's what I said. Like, it's some programs are only started out of pettiness. So then motherfuckers don't really know what they're doing. They just starting a program because they feel like they can do better because they can talk to kids. I've been doing this shit 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always a right way of doing it and a wrong way of doing it. And if you ever started a program out of pettiness because you felt like you can coach your son better than the coach, you're trash. That is not a reason to start. There is not a reason to start a program. Because you feel like you can coach better than his coach does not mean you should start your own program and try to steal kids from other players, other places. The biggest elephant in the room was the biggest enemy in sports when it came to small market, when it came to the teams that weren't sponsored. Like the biggest enemy was always the sponsored teams, the Nikes, the Adidas, the Under Armours. Now this can be just from the basketball sense, but I know football is just as crazy. I know, I've seen it. So honestly, I would think the level of organizing, the level of organizing would be some close to top notch. If you've been doing this I don't want to hear you say you've been doing this for a couple of years and you look scattered. I seen first year teams look fresher than y'all and come out more prepared and have more practicing and more teaching. And it looked like the kids know what they're talking about. Because again, this is not about looks. If y'all blowing out teams and y'all don't even have jerseys yet, y'all doing something right. Right? It might be sports are a little bit more expensive than they used to be back in the day. That's why I say it's because a lot of money you be thinking is going towards the team is not really going towards the team. Like if you're buying jerseys, that typically isn't a team. That's a whole team thing. Like everybody individually has to pay for jerseys. Make sense? So then everybody has to have the money to pay for those jerseys. And if they don't, sometimes all the jerseys don't get ordered until all the money is in. Now, the only difference between like a individual team versus a school team is the school team might have the funds. The school team might already have the jerseys. They might already been able to order the jerseys. Now they're trying to recoup. That's why I said like my kids are definitely going to be different. Like even from my basketball coaching era, that's why I said like there's no way I'm walking in and paying all the money. I will make sure one of my children is the best player on the team. I will not be paying 100%. I never do. The top players never do. And then when you get to a certain level, everybody is a top player. So now the whole team is sponsored. Right. I'm used to all of that. Right. I'm used to making sure my kid busts their butt. So then the coach like, oh, I can use you. Let's not mistake a chance for actually being useful and knowing your role, playing it well, and then executing from your role, and then catapulting from there. Right. The era of going hard is coming back. That's why I said, like, I think a lot of people was making fun of a lot of the NBA cats because of the whole looking soft, not really needing the money. All those cats, like, we know for sure, like, a lot of the cats that played the game for money didn't last long. If they played the game for whatever else it was besides the love of the game, they did not last long. They did not last long. I feel like I can actually keep this sports thing going because I actually like sports. I can actually just talk about sports randomly, like story after story after story after story after story. So I think I might actually start going a little bit harder on my sports channel. I think I might start going a little bit harder. So let me see if I can find the video that I was talking about. I don't think it was that one. This one was kind of funny. I didn't realize that was saying, like, let me see if I can find it. Like, this shit had me cooked. Like, look at this. Had me rolling. But organized. They all got the same jerseys on. I don't know about the mask thing. That's kind of scary. But this last boy, look at this last boy. Look at this last one. Look at this. Yo. Somebody said check number 6. He's gonna need therapy. He banged on everybody before he went onto the field, yo. So here's the guy that was talking about the Pop Warner stuff. I don't know if I can play his video, so I'm gonna click on him and see. But he was discussing, like, the cost. Here goes the cost and it being more expensive than it used to be. Let me see. Where's the other one? My beef. Okay, let me see if he.
Organizations and with these coaches,
there it
if
is.
they don't develop players, I'm paying all this money.
So a lot of, like, what I saw yesterday, I'm waiting to actually go to more games so I could be observant. But it's like, depending on the age, it is so pointless to have certain aspects. Like, if they're too small, of course, there's certain stuff that they're not going to be able to do. You know what I mean? So it's just like, but for football, they be wanting to put their kid out there so early just to have them saying they playing 6. They playing 8U, but they 6. A lot, that's what I'm saying, from what I've been seeing, a lot of these kids still don't even know how to tackle. So why would I want my 6-year-old out there with 8-year-olds that don't know how to tackle correctly still?
He ain't even learning the basic fundamentals of football. He probably play a position he don't know nothing about. Most of the time they just throw him on the O-line and make him block because they only get 6 plays or whatever. If you're not already having your daddy coaching, your uncle,
right,
family already set in the system, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're gonna go to high school undeveloped because you sat for years in a
trash league,
an organization that didn't develop you.
Right.
I don't think that's fair for a person to be paying all that money, any kind of dollar amount, for a youth sport where your kid's supposed to go have fun at, and it, develop, and just come out undeveloped. If I'm paying for tutoring, my child better, be getting better in that subject. That's why I'm paying for tutoring.
Right.
So why am I paying for a youth sport that's not travel ball, that's regular season, if my kid is not going to be developed? And most of these organizations, these coaches, just care about winning.
Right.
Winning championships, winning games.
Okay, so, yeah, it's a couple things that I might change as far as when my kids get older and what I'm going to do and allowing myself to do with them. Depending on what's going on, like, we're going to have a main local team and we're going to have one team that travels during the summertime or whenever else, specifically for ranks, specifically for the big time shit, specifically for the stuff that matters. Everything else is going to be local. Unless my local team has a national team, and I know programs like that. So that's why I said, like, when you got the sauce, you know where to go. That's why I said some of these programs, they don't ever have a national record. Some of them have a national record and they play locally. They travel every single year because that's their conference, because they've been playing year after year consistently that good. So they have a national record. They play locally, and then they go out the state to get their big time plays in. And usually, if they win, they're high in the ranks. If they come in second, third place, they're still high in the ranks, depending on, double A, triple A, that stuff. But yeah, I'm not interested in overpaying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know what the cost is. So then I think he was talking about $600 in Georgia. I don't really know what that covers, but some teams were like, yeah, like ours is only $250. So then it's like, okay, are they pocketing some money, or is that really how much stuff costs? Like, I made sure my brother was nice. So, and also I was usually a coach or an advisor. So my sibling never really paid full price, like consistently. Like, there's sometimes for a couple months where he did, but majority of the time when he was with his big bro, we wasn't paying no fees. So it's hard to hear some of these costs of certain stuff, but then it's like motherfuckers be like mad that you get a deal, but you do 1,000 more things than them. Like, people be weird. That's what I said. Like, I'm the coach. I'm a mentor. I drop kids off. I pick kids up. I coach at the games. I'm assistant coach on the higher tier player games. But yet you tripping that I'm getting a deal. Yet I gotta show up here every single day for your kids, 3, 4, 5 times a day for your kids. Okay. That's what I said. Like, that's not for nobody else. Like, but I'm certified, so I was able to get that. But motherfuckers want to be mad. Like, no, I was training your kids. I was like, I actually just ended up having a child also. So I really didn't get a deal if I wasn't getting paid and my brother was just getting free basketball. That's not really a deal. Now, I did get big enough to where I was getting paid and getting other shit on the side, but that's not the point. That was from my hard work. And then I instilled it into a sibling.
Develop the kid. Don't talk about we had all-stars coming. That kid was already good because we know it's kids that's born, that's natural talent, that's great back. And I played with plenty of kids that went on that didn't get no kind of attention in Pop Warner, that just had it, they figured it out, luckily, and got it right in high school and went to college, played D1, went to the NFL. If you're going to talk about lights and fields and referees, let's talk about also how often your program, your organization develop players. Let's hear about that. How would my kid be developed at your Pop Warner organization?
Exactly.
What I'm saying, y'all suck at it.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to tag him below when I get off here, cause I'm probably gonna click on a couple of his videos. And here was the other one he was talking about yelling at the kids. I got the sound on it. I don't know if I'm gonna get copywritten for that sound, but I'll copy this one also and paste it down below in the description so y'all can see. But yeah, here go the cost that he was talking about.
Explain to me for real. Why does it cost so much to play Pop Warner football? Why is it $620 for one of my kids, to play tackle football? I know I'm a little bit older. When I was coming up, it was $50. That was expensive to my mama at the time. But being realistic, that was not expensive. But $620, not counting the time you're gonna have to put in, not counting how far the games be. You got to pay to get in every game. Believe me.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, I forgot to mention, my nephew had a son, or my grandpa was telling me, he was just like, yeah, we went to one of them games out of state. I'll never go to another game out of the city. He was just like, we went out there and then mess around in it rain, and we had to come all the way back home. So I'll be sitting there laughing because it's like I think football, football is a gruesome sport. I'll probably say. Is it more? That's what I'm saying. Is it more gruesome than it is basketball, to the point where it's like, when we about to go have fun or go travel out, and it's like, yeah, I think 3 or 4 games for kids, even 12, 13, 14, like, that's a lot. Like, that basketball grind is a little bit different. Football, you play maybe one game. Like, the big leagues or organizations that do football, what's the most games you'll play in a week? Maybe 2. And Depending on what level, maybe 2 a week. Basketball can end up, depending on the player or the organization, they can end up playing in a league on Wednesday, a league on Friday, a tournament on the weekend. So it can end up being anywhere from 4 to 6, 8 games, depending on the size of the tournament or what's going on with that organization. Basketball is definitely more expensive. That's what I'm saying. They definitely trying to rake your ass over the head in basketball. Football, the kids got the pads. That costs a good little pretty penny. The helmet, they always gonna grow out of that. That's that's another little piece of equipment they always gonna need. Their whole fit, to be honest with you, they're constantly outgrowing it. You need new cups. You need new padding, new back padding, thigh padding. All that they grow out of. Shoes they grow out of. Basketball though is just a reversible jersey. The material, I guess, could be sweat proof or was it sweat resistant or whatever they call it. But other than that, it's wet shoes, and then you got to pay for the court. Sports is just getting expensive, and especially for these, it's getting expensive for the single parents. Let's just be honest. I don't even know why I just said it like that, but it just made me think of about rent. I noticed that rent isn't meant for one person. Rent is meant for 2 motherfuckers. The cost of it is not meant for one person to suit. It's definitely meant for a couple. But, it is what it is. Do some fundraisers. It's actually, what I'm saying, if you good at fundraisers, do fundraisers yourself. Do some fundraisers yourself. I used to do my own fundraisers for my brother and my sister, like the fun ones, depending on what it is, like the candy or that one's basic. Like they had raffles for TVs and I'd rather do a raffle sometimes, depending on what it is, and just buy the item and try to buy a bunch of tickets. I may have a first, second, third place. That's why I say it's easy ways on coming up with the money, but it's easier to have family that really rock with your kid. But then also picking a decent organization that, if 620, it sounds like you should be getting some extra training or something. And you definitely should be having more than 2 practices a week. That's what it's giving. But I heard cheerleading is just as expensive, if not more. I heard cheerleading is $1,500, volleyball is $1,500. So I'm I don't know what I'm gonna do if my child decides to play one of those sports. Softball not cheap either. It's getting crazy out here. Yeah, I think I spoke about everything I want to speak about. I'm just trying to go live more. So give me a like, comment, subscribe if you rocking with the page. This is my Spivey Speaks Sports page. It's your boy Spivey logging out. Catch y'all soon.